Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Robo Celestial here with a new video for you. Welcome to the part 3 of What If Deku Got One for All Early Season 1. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So, we begin. Now we're going to be shifting over to Bakugo. Turns out some very important stuff with him went down while Class 1A was doing their mock battles, after Bakugo was sent to the principal's office to have his expulsion finalized. He lashed out, trying to blast Nezu. "You can't just expel me like that. I'm better than all of the other weaklings at this school," Principal Nezu sighed, looking down in disappointment. "While you do have good test results, you don't seem to have the heart or character of a hero. I recommend you look into a different profession." Bakugo would respond by trying to blast the principal. In the same instance, All Might was standing between them. "Young Bakugo, you may want to leave right now. If you refuse to leave peacefully, there will be consequences." Bakugo leaves by blasting the door open and walking out as explosions are emitting from his hands. "Young Bakugo, you need to learn to control that temper of yours." Bakugo blasts his way out of the gate and begins to head towards Izuku's house. "If that weakling thinks he can be a hero, then I'll show him just how wrong he is." Bakugo is letting off explosions from his hands out of pure rage as he stomps his way towards Izuku's house. "I'll destroy him and everything he has." Bakugo is destroying the streets, but his tunnel vision keeps him from noticing all the damage. Entire sidewalks are being shattered and fences are being blasted outwards. When he is about halfway there, All Might lands before him. "So then, Bakugo, are you going to let your anger control you, just because you're kicked out of UA? Do you see it as fair to destroy what people have worked so hard to make?" All Might points towards the destruction of the street. "I see you're heading towards young Midoriya's place. For what reason, might I ask? What is it to you? Get out of my way." All Might places his hand on Bakugo's arm, but he responds by blasting All Might in the side of his torso with a full power explosion. "Don't touch me." All Might grabbed at his side, as Bakugo did hit his weak spot. A small amount of steam starts to emanate from All Might's body. "Young Bakugo, if you keep this up, you will never become a hero. Shut the hell up. Stop acting like you know everything, All Might. This is what makes you and Midoriya different. It's the actions you take that lead you down the path to your future. Now I need to take you in." The steam around All Might is starting to increase. All Might gut punches Bakugo, knocking him out to take him to the police station. He barely manages to get away from the police station without changing back. When he does change back, he falls over coughing up blood. His injury is swelling, and he gets a bit dizzy. All Might wakes up in a hospital room. His doctor comes over with some bad news. There has been some internal bleeding from the blast and overuse of the quirk. All Might shouldn't use his quirk for more than an hour or two at a time. Bakugo wakes up in juvie a short while later. He is then being asked a few questions, and then his mother is called to pick him up. When she arrives, she starts to yell at him. "First, you get expelled from UA, and now this. Get in the car now. I don't want to hear what you've got to say for yourself." Bakugo, in his frustration, gets in the car. She signs the paperwork, and then they head home. "How do you plan on getting into a hero course now? You've got a criminal record. It will be hard enough to get into a decent school, let alone a hero course. This is your mess. You deal with it." Bakugo spends the next few days trying to apply for schools, but he is instantly declined when they see his identification. The school systems across Japan were made aware of him. The news outlets were going wild over this story of a blonde kid causing public damage and how he was stopped by All Might. No school wants someone with a criminal record because that just makes them look bad. With no school willing to take Bakugo in, he was left with two options. 1. Quit school, or 2. Go to a cheap public school. Bakugo blamed All Might, Eraserhead, and Izuku for him being expelled and refused to take any of the blame for it. He just doesn't see how his actions lead him down this path. This caused his personality to darken even further. He would lash out at his family about small things whenever something doesn't go right for him. Bakugo decides if no school will take him, he will do homeschooling. One day, a few weeks after he started, he went downstairs and saw that there was some kind of green goo forming in midair before him. Out of curiosity, he began to touch it only for the goo to stick to him before swallowing him whole without anyone else noticing. He emerged from the goop and found himself in a dark room with someone sitting in a chair across from him. The man was wearing a suit, but his face was covered by a mask. "Bakugo, was it? I'd like to offer you a chance to get back at the people who ruined your life." Bakugo had small explosions going off in his hands while taking a defensive stance. "If this is some idiotic ploy, I swear you won't live a long, happy life." The man chuckled at Bakugo's pointless threat. "If you join us, I promise that you will have a chance to destroy the things you hate most, including All Might's successor. This confuses Bakugo a bit. Unsure of what he means. What are you talking about? You better start spilling your knowledge before I get pissed. Quit your cryptic bullshit. You'll do yourself more service by respecting your elders. Young man, the power that All Might possesses is an accident of my own design. A powerful quirk that gets passed down from user to user. All Might must have thought that your acquaintance, Izuku Midoriya, would be a good pick as the next successor, seeing him as the next symbol of peace. Bakugo snaps once again, learning of this new information, taking a long deep exhale as his explosions get more rapid. Glaring at All for One with a crooked smile, I agree to join your stupid gang, however. Only if I get to be the one who kills Deku. Bakugo was a successful student and a gifted individual glowing with pure talent that everyone would aspire to be, only to be someone that derailed from his clear path as a hero. All because of just one bad day. All for One used the same quirk he used on Bakugo to teleport a Namu to them. I see you've got the spirit, but does your prowess back up your ego, I wonder? Fight this Namu. And keep fighting until you win. I'll give you a gift as well as a notice to my disciple of your arrival into the league. He begins to go through some combat training with the Namu. This Namu, however, has the quirks of shock absorption, heat resistance, and regeneration. It's designed to be able to withstand anything that Bakugo throws at it. Bakugo spends his time studying, and then at night he would spar with the Namu while training his quirk. He eventually comes up with the idea to use controlled explosions to create a rotating blast coming from his hand. After some trial and error, he can now redirect the blast and energy that is applied, causing the explosions to be dozens of times the original destructive force. He had to let it build up for nearly a minute, but eventually he was able to tear a hole in the Namu. His arms are nearly always strained at this point. He overworks his quirk almost every day. Eventually, Bakugo overcomes this hurdle with the Namu, blasting it in half entirely with the right amount of force and calculation. The man with the suit returned, congratulating Bakugo of his feat. He then warped them both to introduce Bakugo to the others, and Bakugo immediately thinks less of them. Bakugo is told that he and his disciple will be tested to see which one of them will be leading the assault team. Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope that you enjoyed. Before you leave, we would just like to let you know that We the Celestials has many other channels for your entertainment and viewing purposes. All the information you'll need is right below here in the description, so feel free to check out all the other incredible projects our team creates. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. That's all for today's video. So goodbye and have a divine day.